Good morning, friends. It's bright and early this morning, and that is because we are going on a completely random, out-of-the-blue side quest today. Or should I say, a royal quest? Huzzah! Baby's first Renaissance Fair. I've never been to the Renaissance Festival. I wanted to sparklify myself because I'm the lame friend who's just going in comfy athleisure. But, you know, fairy, like, it makes sense. I just want to dress for comfort because it's record-breaking heat today and I don't have random village attire in my wardrobe, per se. I did try on this glitter highlight powder that my mom got for me when I was doing Party Princess stuff as like a Christmas gift. On the back, the instructions say, "Our ingredients of base are soft and natural mineral formula. Zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are not only can refract the UV and against expressed to the sun indirectly, but also can cut off the damaged light from fluorescent lights in office." I don't know what poison I just put all over my body for like fairy shimmer magic effect, but you know what? Hashtag worth it. Just finishing up my coffee, literally just plain iced coffee today, before meeting my friends at the student union to head to the fair. We're all covered in sparkles and all dressed up, so what was the inspo for you guys for your outfits?
I am generic Ren Fair girl. Think tavern wench, but not the wench part of wench. The vibe of the wench. The wench vibe.
The aesthetic, not the occupation. And then
I am a sarcastic tea seller who ups the price every time a person is rude.
iconic. And I'm a fairy, but I didn't commit as well as everyone else. I'll get better if I come back. I covered myself in suspicious glitter.
She has
so
a picture of a fairy?
I have
She has a
Tinkerbell.
picture of a fairy.
I am a fairy, so we'll see you in the fair. It's really hot, so we got frozen lemonades and Arnold Palmer.
The pickpocket, yes.
Pickpocket. Cheers. Are you gonna try to pet it?
Well, I can't really reach him.
Well, hi.
I speak his language. So we were standing under like an umbrella mister thing, and Ava was just like chilling, right? And then she pulls her arm away and she's like, "What happened?"
I am a water fairy. No, but also we were just sitting down in a shaded place and then a show started naturally.
Yeah.
And there was very few of us there, so he was like locking eyes with us, and so I'm like, conversation like, "Oh, yeah," that kind of thing. And he was like, "Have you ever performed for like one person?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're theater kids, aren't you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I like that you could tell." And he was like, "Yeah, because you're here already. Mm-hmm. Like, you were early." And then he started bullying us about our Shakespeare knowledge, and he kept picking on us throughout.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "You know, theater majors have to do math."
Yeah. To be waiters.
To be waiters.
And we're like,
and then he was like, "Yeah, when you work at a coffee shop." And I was like, "No one tell him I'm a barista." I'm getting soaked, but
hey,
honestly,
he was
it's
good.
so refreshing.
He was definitely a theater major, let me tell you that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm getting soaked, but in the best way.
Oh, it's just a single tear running down Ava's face.
Hey fam, we are now back from the Ren Fair. It was record-breaking heat. We were all like barely surviving because it's entirely outdoors. There was no indoor part at all except for the little like meet a live mermaid thing, which we did, but yeah, so whatever. And so we decided after about 4.5 hours like to call it quits, to head home, and I was like half asleep. And so I just showered, changed into my pajamas, and just took a refreshing nap. So it was a really fun day though. It's been a very spontaneous weekend. I was like settling in for the night, as you saw after the Ren Fair, and then some friends were like, "Hey, we're in the lobby of your building filming like a video for an application for one of us, and you want to just hang out since we're here?" And so then we were out wandering campus at night talking about like Jesus things, but then also being goofballs, so it was fun. And then they're like, "Hey, let's go to chapel together tomorrow." So I got my little tote bag with my Bible and my pastel highlighters, and we're gonna go join friends at chapel.
And I live a very happy life.
Y'all, I'm so not even kidding right now. I have been in prayer consistently since last night when I went on a date with this guy, and about like before the date, through the date, and after. And I'm like, okay, we were talking about boundaries, that kind of thing, and I'm like, okay, we both want to do this the right way, we both want to whatever. And so now I'm sitting here thinking more intentionally with my little brown sugar cinnamon chai before class, thinking through, okay, what are my boundaries, why are they important, what does God say? Because my brain always goes to, we need to solve it, we need to talk about it right now, that kind of thing, and we're not going to be able to see each other for a couple more days. And I was like, oh man, that's unfortunate. And then I was like, wait, I randomly remembered there's a verse about separating for a time to avoid that temptation, and also, in my case, honestly, to avoid putting the person on a pedestal rather than God, who like placed both of us in each other's life for a reason. And so I was like, oh, okay, you're right, like I think a part of me is, yeah, so nip that in the bud, don't want to create idols out of other people. And so I was like, wait, yeah, no, there's a verse about separating for a time to devote yourself to prayer and to like get back with like, okay, well, what does God say about this, instead of listening to your flesh and whatever. And then I was like, okay, it says 1 Corinthians 7:5, so I'm gonna just flip to that page. I think it should be around here. Immediately, the page I flipped to, 1 Corinthians 7:5. You know how thick this Bible is? Look at that. And literally the first page I opened to is the exact one I was looking for. God was like, yeah, girl, you need help.
What to do in this area? Go to his word, go to him,
Okay, and just to clarify, yes, in biblical context, this is about a marriage, and so I'm not saying that you need to refer to the passages on marriage when you are in early stages of dating someone, or just dating someone in general, because marriage and dating are two very different relationships and should not be treated as the same thing. However, if you are struggling with temptation in a dating situation, there are passages which, yes, are applied to marriage that are helpful for it as well. And so that's how I'm using this. But also, I'm watching Christ with Coffee on Ice by Ali Yost right now also. And this is just getting eerie, you guys, because listen to this.
I had another verse from 1 Corinthians that came into my mind, and I was looking for it, and then I saw this. Okay, this
1
goes
Corinthians
to like what I was saying
6:12,
about how the world tells us that we
which is on
should
the
just,
same
like, cleanse
page
our
that I
bodies
was
and we should
on.
just whatever, right? Okay, like all those weird stats.
Okay, tonight has been long anticipated in my family. My brother has been going to the monthly karaoke nights that they do on campus, and naturally, being a theater person, I've always had rehearsal, but that's something that he's always been wanting to do with me, and he's graduating this semester. So tonight, now that both of my shows have closed, I am able to finally go, and it's our last time to do it before he graduates. So it's been a long time coming, but I'm gonna do karaoke tonight with my brother. Yeah! Literally, my brother, just for the record, that is my brother up there, and I'm gonna be super annoying about it. This is for when our parents inevitably watch it. Yeah!
Life change. Now and so
Sorry, Mom and Dad. Yeah, sorry, Mom and Dad.
and now, as tears subside, I find it all so confusing. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, and he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words
Yeah, Alex! Way to be king, my guy!
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the sea to see a marching band. Because one day I phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade. Fists in the air.
I've got a couple hours before I'm gonna head down to see Gabby in Venus and Adonis on campus with some friends. And I feel like having a cozy impromptu Bible study, and I have a really cozy idea, so let's settle in with Jesus. This feels cozy, right? And I'm in an episode of Christ with Coffee on Ice. Shout out to Ali Yost. I've been loving her stuff. This is her episode called When the Weight Isn't Yours to Carry. I don't know why it was speaking to me, so I clicked into it. And she was reading through Exodus 3, Moses in the burning bush. So that's the page I have open to now, but the path that she's going down with her little message right now is kind of making me realize something that I think God is really working with me on right now is patience. In that, grateful for where I am right now. And sorry, I'm like, my head is cut off. Hang on. Then I feel like I'm posing like a model if I'm down here. So, you know what, just sleepover vibes. I just feel like where I am right now is like I'm on the edge of this cliff into paradise. Like I'm on the edge of something wonderful, like something wonderful and big and God blessed is on its way, and I can see it, but I can't touch it yet. My impatient human self is just wanting to jump right in and experience that right now. Gotten better at wrangling my impatience over the past couple years because I didn't have this preview into what God might have in store for me. You know, but now he's giving me some of that insight. He's opened the window so I can see where he's been leading me, yet we're still not quite there yet. And that's the hard part. And every time that I'm like catching myself like wanting to rush God's timing or the plan, I just remember patience. And the fact that it's not only mentioned as what love is, like immediately, you ever think about that in 1 Corinthians 13 when it says love is patient, love is kind, it does not boast? The very first thing that they said, and the writing of the Bible is so intentional, the very first one of those is patience. Love is patient, love is kind, etc., etc. And also, beyond that, it's also a fruit of the Spirit. Patience is one of the fruit of the spirits in Galatians 5. So I feel like that's just such an important piece. Like, God did that so intentionally, because he says in 1 Corinthians, the greatest of these is love, and the first adjective for love is patience. And then, in case that wasn't enough, he also lists patience as one of the fruit of the Spirit as well, which means that that's God going like, ding, 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 pay attention to that word. And so I'm over here really grappling with my human impatience and fully trusting God's timing. I was also thinking about this the other day, that God doesn't magically fill your heart with patience when you ask for it. He gives you opportunities to be patient and to trust him. It's like, so that's where I am right now. That's why he's allowed me to see ahead into what he might be doing in my life. The doors that are starting to open for me, he's let me have that preview so that I can practice this patience that I've been asking for years, that I thought I had a handle on, until now he's like, all right, but now you can see the thing out the window that you want, but still you have some work to do with me still first. And just trust that if I'm not letting you get your hands on it right away, there's a reason, because God's timing is always perfect. And he knows things about me that I don't know about myself. And he knows things about my circumstances and about the situation at hand that I don't know about. So I just need, every time that I'm like, God, like I just want it to start, like I just want to like get going, I want to enter this next chapter of my life, because I'm so excited to see how you are laced in it. He just tells me, before, for years, he would just say, just wait. That's what the still small voice would tell me. And now that I'm like seeing glimpses into what I've been waiting for, instead of hearing just wait, I'm hearing trust me. Where I'm like second guessing things from a human perspective, where like, oh, am I misreading God's signs? Is this not something that he's prepared for me? Is he just teasing me? All of this stuff. But guess what? Something else that I was thinking about recently is, when it comes to signs from God are very real. And I'm an overthinker, okay? You know those times when you're like praying for a sign from God, and then you get what you feel is a sign from God, but then you start to second guess whether or not it is a sign from God because you overthink it? Guess what? God knows every individual and the way that their mind works. If he gives you a sign and your instinct is to interpret it as a sign, he knew that that was going to be your instinct, because he fashioned that sign for you to see as a sign. He wouldn't send you signs in a language you can't read. He knows you individually, and he meets us where we're at and speaks our language. And the other thing is that God pulls through on his promises. Never once in the Bible is there an instance where God has promised something to someone and it has not happened. And then I think of Abraham and Sarah. I was reading something the other day where they are praying to have a child. And at this point, this is when humans live for hundreds of years at a time. And they wait 90 years. But God finally answers that prayer. He promised them children of their own fertility, and they start to lose hope because 90 years go by and Sarah physiologically should not be able to conceive, but she does. It's just as much of a miracle as it was as the Virgin Mary, you know? And where I'm going with this, sorry, God was just like, ding, 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 ding. Where I'm going with this is God's timing is always on time. Patience is so important, because ultimately patience is faith in God's timing being on time, instead of measuring it by our human standards. Physiologically, Abraham and Sarah lost faith that they would have children once time was up, physiologically speaking, and she should have not been able to conceive, but then she did at 90 years or 100 years. I can't find the passage right now, and so in the same way, if you're praying for something and you're still waiting on it, it doesn't mean God's forgotten. It doesn't mean that it's not coming. Even if you're like, okay, well now it would be literally impossible for that thing to come true because of these literal factors. Well, guess what? God literally built this world with his bare hands. Our God is the God of the impossible because he decides what's possible. So I'm working on patience and trusting that the God of the impossible is making things possible in my life that I didn't think were. And I'm continuing to ask for patience. It's a constant discipline. It's a constant me on my knees asking God to fill me with patience and to keep my eyes on him, to trust, to not keep my eyes on the vision he's given me of where my life could be headed, but to keep my eyes on him so that I don't start planning out my own path to get where I'm going, and instead to trust that God has that path paved out for me and that he's guiding me in a path that I never would have expected. So that's where I'm at right now. And I should probably start having dinner before seeing Gabby and Venus and Adonis. Hardcore vibing right now. When you're on a post-show adrenaline rush but don't want to get food, you go play Mario Kart in the Thunderground. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, baby! Let's go! Well, let's see who wins. I'm going to view the result.
Oh, we didn't do
And Zelda.
I can't wait to see who gets the big golden trophy for the banana cup, Gabby. Someone imagine if it was the person who's never owned a Nintendo before.
I'm gonna start the game so she's distracted.
Yeah!
There was only 2 games?
What do you mean? There was 4 courses. And I win.
Do you see how close I was?
You were very close. Good job, Gabby. Good morning, friends. I just wanted to pop in and say thank you for hanging in there with my super spontaneous, crazy college week where I was just saying yes to doing random things with random friends. And so you just saw like the most random of those clips. Well, not the most random. You did miss APO inductions this year, which what happens at APO inductions stays at APO inductions. And if you want more insight into what that looks like, I was inducted around this time last year, and you can look up my APO induction on my page. There's a vlog about it. This year because I'm inducted, I was able to help set it up, and can't really say much about what happened, but it was Super Mario themed, and I was Toadette. So yeah, anyway, I didn't film any of that. I was just living in the moment, and it was just 7 hours straight of chaos, and yeah. Yeah, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for being here. If you enjoy this kind of college lifestyle, performing arts vlog content while also talking about Jesus and what he's doing in our lives and how he's working through our lives and figuring things out as we're growing up, feel free to check out some of my other stuff if you're interested, because that's kind of what I strive to do here on the internet with my vlog series. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for being here. Jesus loves you. Bye.